All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about why I transferred, and if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, we'll get into that. This is a question I get asked a lot, or that I have to explain a lot, so I thought I'd make a short video on it. So when I say I transferred, I went to the University of Southern Indiana in Evansville, Indiana for 4 years, and after that I transferred and finished up my time in college, my athletics and my education. I finished that up at Iowa State University in Ames, Iowa. So just going to give a little background on why I went to Southern Indiana, and then we'll jump into why I chose to transfer. So yeah, I chose to go to University of Southern Indiana, which may shock some people when I tell them that my high school 3200 PR was 852. Like, why would you go to a small Division II school with that PR? The main two reasons that I chose that is my older brother, Javen, ran there. He's 2 years older than me, 2 years ahead of me in school as well. So he was running there. And so being his teammate, that was high on my list. It wasn't 100% guaranteed that I'd go wherever he went, but I always knew it was going to play a pretty big role in my college decision. And then I really did like Coach Hilliard, the coach there. Still have nothing but respect and love for him. He's phenomenal. So those were the two main reasons. And then at Southern Indiana, I guess this would go with Coach Hilliard. The school records were faster than I ever thought I was capable of running. And, you know, there was a lot of guys, a lot of history of All-Americans and even some national champions. And I liked that idea. So between those two factors, those won out, even though financially, it actually was my worst financial offer. I mean, I did receive a scholarship, but financially it was my worst offer. But I thought at the end of the day, I want to be my brother's teammate again, and I like Coach Hilliard, and I like his style. So that's why I chose to go there, was those, and I knew I could be competitive at the Division II level, and I was, for the most part, for my 4 years, besides my last year of cross country. There was the only year I would say I wasn't competitive at the Division II level. So during my last fall semester there, so this has been fall 2021, I want to say this is fairly early in the semester, the university announced that they were going to be looking into going Division I, switching from Division II to Division I. And if you're not familiar, there is a 4-year postseason ban with that, with the NCAA. So immediately from that day, just talking with Coach Hilliard, I was like, hey, if they do this, I got to leave. And he was totally supportive of that. He understood. He did this same thing actually when he was in college. Left his initial university because they changed divisions and he didn't like that ban. So he understood and he was supportive of me. You know, we both agreed we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But so, because I thought if I can't compete at regionals and nationals, and that defeats the whole purpose of why I came to go to school there. So February they did announce that they were going to go, and I immediately that same day I got on the transfer portal. It was tough, but that's what I knew I needed to do. So that's why I left there. Is like I went there not because of if I was chasing clout or chasing big names or more money or more gear, I would have never went there. I went there to be competitive at the Division II level, and that was being taken away from me. And so that's why I left. And again, it wasn't easy, but sometimes you got to make those decisions, and I'm thankful that Coach Hilliard was supportive of that. There's some people at the university in the athletic department, maybe even some of my teammates that didn't fully understand that, but Coach Hilliard was in my corner. My family was in my corner. So that's what mattered. And I think it'd only be appropriate to answer on this video why I chose Iowa State. You may be saying, well, you mentioned you wanted to be competitive in Division II, so why did you go from Division II to Iowa State, a school in the Big 12, a big school in Division I? That at that point I wasn't as concerned with what division I was in. I was open-minded to Division I or Division II. I didn't want to go Division III or NAIA. But I was open-minded. I just wanted to be somewhere where I could run run fast, improve my times, and still graduate with a college degree and set myself up to still compete post-college. So just weighed out all the factors, and Iowa State was one of the very first schools to reach out to me. Shout out to Coach Wallace. He emailed me pretty quick, actually, and got the ball rolling there. And there were some other coaches that got the ball rolling quick, too. So I did appreciate those that also were kind of jumped in early. Yeah, so it came down, the main factors it came down to for me is, and I guess this is anybody picking college, whether you're an athlete or not, was academically. And what I mean by that is I hadn't graduated from USI yet. So when you're that far into your education and been in school for 4 years, you have to have 80% of your degree completed to be able to compete. And so that's important because not every class is going to transfer, not every credit's going to transfer over. And Iowa State was willing to do everything they could to get every credit transferred over and make it work. There was other schools willing to make it work too, but some schools weren't as willing to make it work, and some schools just couldn't make it work. That was out of the coach's control. But that worked out academically at Iowa State. I was able to be eligible for the fall. Financially, that's always a big factor. Something I talked with every coach on the first phone call. It's like, look, I don't have a lot of money. My parents aren't paying for my school, so I'm going to need some sort of scholarship. I'm not asking for a number right now, and I'm not asking for a full ride. I'm just saying that's what I need. So was able to get some scholarship from Iowa State, so that it worked out financially. It made sense for me. I could make it work financially. And then the team, obviously the team and the training. I liked Iowa State, made a visit there. They were tough guys, grinders, down to earth. So kind of everything I stand for, not getting caught up in looking the best or getting all the attention on social media. They just got the work done. So I like that. And then another big factor for me at the time was COVID. I didn't have the COVID vaccine, still don't. And that was a time, I mean, this was spring 2022. I mean, there were some schools, universities, this is above athletics, that were making it mandatory. And there were some athletic departments and some teams out there making it mandatory. I wasn't going to get it. So had to have that work out too. That's a non-negotiable for me. If every single school would have made me, I even Southern Indiana, I just would have dropped out of school, to be perfectly honest. So that was important to me. So all those factors lined up, and it worked out for me, and I was able to go to Iowa State and really enjoyed my year there and the team and everything involved with that. Don't want to really get into that, not the point of this video, but so I just wanted to, again, just wanted to answer that question. People always ask why I transferred or how I ended up there. So that's the reason. Stuff was out of my control, but I think there's kind of a lesson in there. You can't let other people's decisions, hold you back. It was tough at the time, but I didn't decide to just, throw up the white flag or just kind of take a hit and not get to chase my goals. I didn't. Again, it was a sad time. It was tough when I heard that decision, but you can't just waller in that sadness and pout about it forever and then complain the rest of your life because a decision was made. So I think, there's a lesson in that again. You gotta do what works for you, make stuff happen, and be willing to change sometimes. And that's what I did. And I'm thankful that everything worked out, even though the initial decision I didn't agree with, but made stuff happen. So hopefully that answers your question. If you ever wondered why I transferred, that's it. All right, if you're still watching, I just wanted to throw out a quick shout out. Winders Lawn Maintenance, no stranger to the channel. Me and my brothers run that down in Tennessee. So, you probably seen the videos of me wearing the hats. My brother's wearing the hats, maybe some other people wearing the hats or shirts. We do sell some. So if you're looking to get a hat, I have some black ones here. This is called a dad cap. There that is. And then we have some of these black trucker hats. If you're interested in one of these, shoot me an email. My email is in the description of this video. Shoot me an email. and we'll go from there. I mean, it's going to be $25 plus shipping. They're really nice hats. So if you're interested in that, sporting the brand, let me know. I'll make it happen. Thanks.